All right, sir.
Yes, I'm here.
I just need to grab your name, sir, and where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm Andre. I live in Horizon City.
Andre? Okay. Give me one moment.
All right.
Lieutenant Valdez, may I help you?
Good afternoon, Lieutenant Valdez. I got your email, I think it was like 45 minutes ago.
Uh-huh. How may I help you?
Yes, ma'am. I just, I don't know what you interpreted from the message that I left earlier this afternoon, but
this afternoon?
Yeah. Did you get a message from the dispatcher?
Just to call you back?
Oh, okay. I tried to have her write something down, but maybe you didn't get it. But anyway, I had some questions about the recent meeting, the collective bargaining police union meeting with the city of Horizon City, Texas.
Uh-huh.
And so the reason I'm calling you is because apparently you're the one who had posted the notice.
Yeah, so I'm in charge of the website, so I post whatever they ask me to post.
Okay. And who told you to post that notice? I don't know if you could tell me that, but I'd like to know if possible.
That would be the same person that posts all like the city stuff, like, you know, the city council meetings and stuff. So I don't know who pulled the trigger on it. Like, I don't know who's, like, 'cause, you know, we work, I know it's a small city, right? But, you know, like planning and zoning, and, you know, that they're one division, you know, code enforcement is different, finance is different. So I don't know who's in charge of the decisions, you know, if that makes sense. The request came from the city clerk, which is Elvia Schuler, who is one of the ladies I see from time to time posting the stuff on the marquees, you know, like the little board outside the entrance to the doors to the buildings. You know, that little glass case.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
I've seen her post stuff. I've seen other people post stuff. You know, I don't know who's a member of what, you know, because I know that in our courtroom, you know, it's like our cafegimatorium, you know, so, you know, it's city council chambers one day, it's a municipal court another day, it's a training room another days, it's where they have the planning and zoning commission or board meetings. So I don't know who's on what to say when I saw them posting. I just want to make that clear. Can you hold on? Can you have them in dispatch? They have the key box to the units, and then just put the key away, please. Thank you. Okay. So then, so as far as who's in charge of that notice, I don't know. I will tell you, I received the request from Elvia Schuler, who is the city clerk, the town clerk, you know, whatever it's called. And so that's all the information I have on that. And, you know, she just says, this is the notice, copy and paste it, you know, by the state. Was there a problem with it or what?
With the notice itself, I believe there is. Yeah,
okay, what's
I'm
the
not.
problem?
Well, I believe there's more than one. The first problem, I believe, and I'm definitely no expert in Open Meetings Act. I'm not an expert in anything, but this is new stuff to me. I'll openly admit that. But from the brief research I have done, the notice that you guys put up, one of the first issues that I have noticed, that I have, no pun intended, that I noticed, but that I'd like to point out, one of the first issues is that the notice that was made was too broad. It wasn't specific enough.
Okay, again, this is one of those things where I feel If it was getting to be a broken record in conversation between you and I, because I know that this notice, I wanna say, is like word for word, the same notice it was a couple of, years ago, even. I think our collective bargaining takes place like every 2 to 3 years. And I want to say, when I logged into the account, let me see. HorizonCityPD.com.
Yes, and while you're looking that up, I'm glad you mentioned
yeah,
that.
public notices. So I know from, like I've told you before, Andre, and I don't know if you're recording this, and if you are, like, hello to your viewers, but because they have, I'm an open book. I think everything that has to do with city government should be. And all I can tell you is that I work on the website because, at least at the time that, the cost to design and operate the website was a little cost prohibitive at the time. Of course, there's like Squarespace now and, such things. And that's kind of what we use to run our website, right? So our website, like a bunch of lawyers didn't like vet it out, and like, our website was pretty much, because, in the mid thousands, we saw that there was a need for people to get, information, in the form of a website, right? So, as of late, we've even added like a chat option on the website so that if somebody has a question, they can just, like straight up ask the question on the chat bar. You know what I mean? So the website is, ran by the police department, not by the lawyers. So a lot of the content I will tell you, there might be misspellings, there might be, you know what I mean? So I don't know if that's what you're having issue with. But, certain content is just provided by the city. So, it's like here, copy and paste. So I cannot assume that, like, the lawyers made it or the city clerk made it, or I can tell you for sure I didn't make the content. I posted it, and I don't think I have the authorization to change it.
Okay, so just so we're clear, and I'm glad you gave me that other information, that other background information about, the limited staff, the limited resources. I understand, but I'd like us to focus on one specific item, nothing else about any other website or any other resource issue, none of that. I'd like us to focus on one specific thing, and that is the notice that was posted on February 15th, 2024.
No. And listen, like, that's what I'm saying, like, I'm looking at this thing, and then there's, like, a notice from, like, 2021. There's a notice from 2020.
Yes, those also.
And on all these notices were, like, copy and paste that were given to me to post. Because I'm the only one, like, really tech-savvy enough to, put stuff and remove stuff on a website. But, again, if you have some type of issue with, the wording or the content, like, I can tell you right now, as you like to say, Lieutenant Casey Valdez, Horizon City Police Department, like, I'm not privy to making any kind of, legalese, on the content of these notices. So if you do have any issues on the content of the notices, then I would highly recommend you reach out to, you're probably looking at, that Borges or like whoever our lawyers are, like you have their number on the list, because I'm pretty sure they're the ones who make the notice, give it to the town clerk who gives it to me.
I appreciate that, and yeah, I will.
I'm pretty sure it's the lawyers that make, not just this, like, but, the stuff that goes on the agendas for city council and all that stuff, I'm pretty sure it comes from the lawyers. But again, or you might want to check with a city clerk, but I don't have it's not within my scope of duties or authority, to put anything else. I know that this is collective bargaining meeting. It says the collective bargaining agents for the town of Horizon City and the police association will meet on the following dates, times, and location for the purpose of collective bargaining. And then it has Wednesday, February 28th, 2024, 2 p.m. in the city council chambers, located here at the police department building. It was posted on the 15th at 2 p.m. by me, and then in compliance with blah, 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 blah. And then it says here, requests for auxiliary aids and services may be made prior to this meeting by calling the city clerk. So, I mean, I don't know what other stuff you want on there. Like, I don't know. I am curious. What do you want on there?
I appreciate you giving me the information you gave me, and yes, I will respond to what you just said with two specific questions. First question, and this will give you an idea of what I'm after. First question is, did you create an agenda for this meeting?
Not me. No. Next question.
Before I go to question two, do you happen to know of anybody in the city government that created an agenda for this public meeting?
I don't know that, no.
Okay, and question two is, have you ever, during your career at the Horizon City Police Department, have you ever taken open records training or Open Meetings Act training for the from the Texas Attorney General?
No, Casey Valdez, no. I've taken, I've been given information by, back in the day, Chief McConnell. And again, our role here as, back then as a patrol lieutenant, is to manage and, lead the patrol division. As here in criminal investigations, it's to manage and lead the detective squad and now support services, like fleet management and evidence, collection, maintenance, forensics, and, the warrants division, and I think that's it. Oh, and the traffic enforcement, the specialized, like the commercial vehicle guys and the guy on the motorcycle. So that's what I do, right? So when I go to a training, it's like, detective school kind of stuff, homicide school kind of stuff, like overdose death type of investigation type stuff. I just went through the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia last summer. That was leadership and developing community engagement plans, to better the services that we provide for the community. But because records is not like any part of my duties, then I don't get any kind of training for records. Now, Cynthia, for example, she gets training on records because that's her duty. She doesn't get homicide investigator. She doesn't get overdose death investigator. She's not going to get sent to the FBI Academy. I hope you understand what I'm trying to paint here. And I think I know what you're getting at is like every officer should have training for records keeping. But the thing is, cities are organizations, and every team player has a role. And so mine is not records. Mine is criminal investigations, and mine has been patrol, and mine has been community relations. Again, because of my tech savviness and being a small city here, like, yes, I'm in charge of the website, content, creation, operation, and updating, but it's because I know how to do it. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing for, like, we just implemented a paperless system over the last year. And I was the one who developed all the, our officers went from having daily logs to electronic logs that they do on their phones or computers. And, through the use of that, we're actually able to gather data and do all this really cool, technology stuff, right? But the thing is, I'm not the IT person. You know what I mean? The IT person does other stuff, and, we wear lots of hats here, so a lot of the times I end up doing stuff, but that doesn't mean that, it all, hinges on me, like I said, So I understand where you're coming from, but also, to answer that question, no, I don't have records training. I think I know why you asked the question, and I believe I've explained why I don't have records training. What's the next question?
Well, before we go into any other questions, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but it seems like you're getting a little bit defensive. I'm not trying to say.
No, it's just, you're asking me these questions that have nothing to do with what I do. And I believe you're asking me, I don't think you're trying to be difficult. I think you're trying to figure out, why the situation is the way it is, or why I never seem to have any answers as far as, because I believe this is like the umpteenth time that I've probably ever said, I don't know, take it to the lawyers, right? Like, I say that to you a bunch of times. You know why?
Well, I you're being honest, and you're saying that
because I'm being honest, and because I don't know, but you know who knows? The lawyers.
Well, actually, I disagree with that. Is sometimes
I know. You can disagree with lawyers. Like, that's the thing about, that's why when little kids are small and they're like 2, and and they're the cute kids that are like, no, listen, Linda, I want ice cream for dinner. Listen, Linda, Mom. Those kids are the ones that say, wow, that kid needs to be a lawyer. Because lawyers love to argue. Like, that's their deal. But again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not one for arguing, but like I said, I don't mind, giving information, being an open book, because that's what I think, everyone should expect out of city government is, the truth, right? And that's the truth. Now,
yes,
if you believe every officer should have this type of training, okay, cool. But I can tell you I don't. So,
I wasn't jumping at conclusions, or I wasn't trying to ambush you and say that, okay, well, do you have this training? Aha, got you. No, it's not like that. I'm just asking that question. And I know, let me just say this, is that I know that most cops in Texas, or whatever state you're talking about, but in Texas, of course, you're dealing with, as most cops, I mean, I've never been a cop, but I know this, is that most cops, when it comes to the law, are only going to be concerned with the Texas Penal Code. That's the meat and potatoes of being a cop. And then the Texas Transportation Code for pulling people over for, minor traffic violations or speeding or whatever. And then maybe the Texas Mental Health Code if you're dealing with somebody who's dealing with mental type of issues, or, the Family Code for domestic violence stuff, or, taking kids out of homes, like DPS stuff. So, I mean, I appreciate all the information you've given me, but you don't have to justify to me, like, oh, well.
No, I'm not. And like I said, I'm not justifying. I'm just trying to paint a picture for you because I think, I think anybody else, I know you have issue with, law enforcement in the sense of, I guess, sometime in your life, you probably got kicked around by the cops, and the thing is, but, so did I, you know what I mean? But I'm the kind of person that, goes and says, okay, well, I'm going to try to get in there and I'm going to try to make a difference my way, and you're the kind of person that says, I'm going to try to make a difference my way. I think we're both like really working for the same thing. And at the end of the day, you, the chief, everybody, I think we're on the same page of giving, service to the people. And if this is like your area of expertise, then cool, because, I have other areas of expertise, right? But I think collectively we're working towards creating a better community, and not just a better like relationship with a community, like, creating a safer, better community, I think is what we're all working towards. And that's why, even though you are most welcome to come into the police station, have a look around, obviously, not where there's like sensitive information or anything, that's just because, there's certifications that have to be had, before being privy to certain information. Right, but just like any member in the community is welcome to come here, come here, do a tour, ask questions, get in there, and but I know that, I know that you don't like coming around here, and that's okay. I respect that. But the thing is, anybody has the right to come and ask, because it's, it's a city, we're public servants, right? So, that's all I'm saying by that. Like, I just want to make sure that I paint the picture, because I could just answer no, like, no, I don't have that training. Next question, and then this, and like, But I want to make sure that just like anybody else that comes here, right? I believe citizens are owed explanations, and that's that's how it is.
Yes, I've always believed that your moral compass is in the right place, which is a very good thing. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to ambush you. I'm just trying to gather some facts, and I appreciate your honest answers. But yeah, I will be honest with you, is that the reason I'm asking these questions is because, this also is kind of a broken record. As usual, I found something which I believe is, not within the law or policy. And so in this case, we're talking about Texas state law. I'm not going to keep you on the phone all day, but that's the reason I'm asking these questions, because I came in, I wasn't even looking for anything as usual. I mean, I'm usually not on the hunt for misconduct or policies and laws being violated, but, I just go about my day, and then I see something, and based on what I know, just the way you guys say it, through my training and experience, I see something, and I have to point it out. I mean, if I went to the meeting and I feel like the law is being violated, then yeah, now I'm all over this, because that's what I saw. So I'll give all the details later as I create more videos and as we have more conversations going forward. But that's why we're on the phone this afternoon. It's because I went to that meeting, I looked at the notice, everything I observed on the notice and at the meeting itself. I can tell you that there's multiple violations of the Texas Open Meetings Act, and I haven't even really dived deep into it, but just a surface overview, I can tell you that.
Well, I mean, you're more than welcome to call the city clerk, or next time you're at the meeting, just after the meeting, talk to the lawyers, because right there, that's the lawyers.
I'm glad you bring up the lawyers, because actually, now that you bring up the lawyers, one of the issues I actually have is with the lawyer herself. The person that I walked in.
Again, I am a lieutenant of Criminal Investigations Division, so I would say if you have any issue with the lawyers, you probably need to address that with the mayor, or, I mean, I really wouldn't know. Unless you think, or unless the lawyer freaking backed into your car and took off without leaving a note, or committed some type of other crime against you, I'm a peace officer. I don't tell lawyers what to do, and I specifically can't tell city lawyers that make the city policies what to do, because they're the lawyers. That's their liability. That's like I hate to say this, but in America, again, I think I've told you this before. Like we prove our points with lawsuits, and that's what it is.
All right, we'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna keep on grilling you about this, but I'm glad you got on the phone with me this afternoon and gave me answers.
You said you had another question, though? Because there was two. You said you had two, and you just asked me one.
Right. The second question that I asked was just had you taken any throughout your entire career at the Horizon City Police Department? Had you ever taken Open Records Act training or Open Meetings Act training? Which you answered no, and you gave the reasons why. Yeah. But I guess now that you do ask, I do have one other question which you probably don't have the answer to, but I'll ask it anyway. Do you know or happen to have heard that the assistant chief or the chief himself have ever taken either Open Records training or Open Meetings Act training?
Assistant Chief Rico, I don't know. I think he might have, to be honest with you. I want to say at some point, Chief Rico, Chief McConnell and, Cynthia probably received training. If my memory... I mean, the point is moot. He retired just yesterday, as a matter of fact, so... if Rico doesn't call you back, it's because it no longer works here. So just, he's not avoiding you.
Right, okay. No, I knew he was going to retire, so I guess now is a good time to make that announcement. So maybe that's even a moot question, because it doesn't even matter if he took the training, because he doesn't work there anymore.
Yeah, so he's gone. You're more than welcome to ask your questions via email to the respective people. But I can tell you that I wouldn't. I want to say, like, by memory, like, what's that phrase? Anecdotally, like, I want to say that I do remember them having been through our training, and, this might have been, like, maybe, like, 4 years ago that I remember specifically, like, McConnell and Cynthia. I know, I want to say Cynthia, we routinely send Cynthia to open records training is probably my best guess. Because they routinely send, officers to training, and they routinely send, detectives and myself to training. This agency is a very big proponent of professional development, and so I don't see them sending us, to all these trainings, but Cynthia, no. You know what I mean? I think everybody gets trainings in their specific, and it's the same thing, like, patrol officers don't get, death investigation and, interrogation techniques and all this stuff. They get their trainings, domestic violence, investigation, and, like, all the stuff that they deal with on a thing, like on a daily basis that they deal with. That's the trainings they get, that's the trainings we get, and then, chief probably gets chief trainings. We don't get chief trainings because we're not a chief. But I would say it's like that.
Okay. Well, I'll be going around the Horizon City Police Department and asking various different people questions, and also with the Horizon City government. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't want to keep you on the phone all day, and I appreciate you answering all the questions that I had. Like I said, the only reason I was even contacting you about this particular open meetings issue is because with this particular meeting that happened on February 28th, the collective bargaining meeting, was because I saw your name on the notice. So I figured you wrote the notice, which you've explained exactly, why you did it, and the knowledge of preparing a notice that you have, that you did exactly what you've done in the past, and that's all you know how to do. So I totally understand your answer.
Well, alrighty then. Well, that being the case, have a good weekend, and we'll talk sometime next week probably.
All right. Yes. Thanks again for taking my call, Lieutenant Valdez. And what is your badge number again?
136.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You have a great weekend.
You too. Bye-bye now.